My name is Dr. Teresa Triscritti, aka the Marriage Doctor, and today I'm going to talk about resolving conflict. But before I begin, let me just mention that I've got spasmodic dysphonia, so my words might sound kind of choppy. So if you've been in a long-term relationship, you probably realize that conflict does happen. So what do you do when you experience conflict? Well, I've got 5 suggestions. Some of these suggestions you might have heard before, but it's worth mentioning. So the first suggestion is to take a breath or count to 10 or 20 or whatever, but take a breath, because taking a breath will give oxygen to your brain and it'll help you to stay calm, and that way you don't say something that you'll regret. A second way to handle conflict is to just say time out. Let's just pick this up later, and each person goes in different directions for a little bit just to get their thoughts together and to evaluate their emotions. So it's better to just walk away and just to think about the situation, maybe think about what you will say. Third suggestion is to just wait until the next day. It's okay to hold off trying to resolve a conflict to the next day. And I know there's some people that think you're supposed to resolve a conflict the same day because you want to go to sleep, having things resolved. But sometimes the situation is a little bit more complicated, so it's okay to resolve it later. So this next suggestion isn't about what you should do, but what you should not do in a conflict. So some of you might have heard the saying, fight fire with fire. In a conflict situation that doesn't really resolve anything, in fact, it just escalates everything. One of the suggestions, I guess you could call it a sub-suggestion, is to fight fire with water. But what I mean by that is somebody in that situation, in that conflict, somebody is going to stop and just think, what can I do to de-escalate everything? That's being water. Here's the thing, if both are thinking, what can I do to de-escalate everything? Then you're heading into solving the conflict. But when you fight fire with fire, what you're basically doing is if somebody says something hurtful, then you're going to come back and say something hurtful too. And so it just keeps escalating and escalating, and then nothing gets resolved. So I think that was my fourth, I don't remember. So anyway, here's the next suggestion. It could be my fifth suggestion, maybe the sixth, I'm not sure. But anyway, the last suggestion is, if you're having difficulty getting to the point where you can solve a conflict, then that's a good time to go see a counselor. Or if you can't find a counselor, then maybe go to a place of worship and talk to one of the religious leaders, just so they could sit with you and try to work through some of the issues and to come to a resolution in the conflict. And it could be a situation where each person has a chance to say what they feel or what they think without the other person interrupting. And sometimes when we hear what the other person is trying to say in a neutral place, then we could actually process what they're trying to say instead of trying to worry about what we're trying to say as a comeback. And sometimes it could be helpful to rephrase what the person actually said to show that you have a little bit of an understanding of what they're trying to say. And if it's not clear what you heard, then the other person will have an opportunity to be able to repeat what they were saying. So here's the thing, you don't have to live with conflict. There is a way to resolve it. So that is my suggestion for today. I will see you next time. Again, my name is Dr. Teresa Triscritti, aka the Marriage Doctor. God bless you.